Everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I am very sick right now, so I do apologize about my voice being so deep. I do apologize about that, but this is my Relinquished deck. I've been working on this. If you've been watching my live stream on YouTube, you've seen me play around with this deck, but this is a Kaiju Relinquished deck. Now, at the moment that I am filming this video, the TCG ban list is not out yet. The OCG ban list, however, was released about 2 days ago. So if our list is similar to that list, this deck will still be viable in link format and going forward, as long as 3 things happen. Pre-preparation of rights stays at 3 of, trade-in stays at 3 of, and the level 8 kaijus stay at 3 of. As long as those 3 things happen, this deck will still be playable and viable with some alternation, a little bit of alterations. But without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. I'll talk more about that as I get more into the deck, about things that may get hit and what you can do to change it up. I will probably do an update of this deck after link format comes out, probably later this year in the fall or late summertime. We will see. But first off, we got our 3 Relinquish. You guys should know what Relinquish does. You pretty much are going to suck up an opponent's monster, preferably a kaiju, a monster that you just kaiju'd. Suck up the kaiju monster you just gave to them. Relinquish would be a 3,000, 27, 22 beat stick, and you can proceed to whack your opponent in the face with their own, with a kaiju, a Relinquish that has a kaiju attached to it. So this is a very decent card. This is more of a fun deck, but it can do pretty good. I was very surprised. Also, I should mention, you always want to optimally go second with this deck. You always want to go second with this deck. And you may ask yourself, well, why is that, Seto? Why do you always want to go second with this deck? Because it's a reactive deck. If you're going first turn and you try to make a Relinquish and they don't have a monster on the field, so you can't kaiju it, well, it's kind of pointless, isn't it? So you want to go second, get that extra draw card, which can always be helpful. If they have a monster that or an unbreakable board, you can be like, okay, have a kaiju, I'll special summon a kaiju, I'll make a Relinquish, steal your monster, set some back row, so if you try to counterattack me, you're going to have trouble. So you always want to optimally go second with this deck, from experience. Going first, if you have a lot of traps in your hand, that may be viable to go first, but optimally, I always found myself wanting to go second with this deck from playtesting in real life and online. So 3 Manju searches out your Relinquish and also searches out, where is it? Your Black Illusion Ritual for your Relinquish plays. So your Manju. Also, he's a light attribute, which I'll talk about a little bit later, some things you can do with him. Next we have 3 Relink Kuriboh. This card got a reprint recently, but I have 2 of the show and jump ones, so that's why they're different rarities. But this card is very good in this deck. So I used to play this card in Black BLS deck before the new BLS support came out. The Blackluster Soldier Ritual deck. Pretty much, this guy is a draw engine and can protect your monster. So I'll read to you his effect. He says, if this card is tributed, draw 1 card. Alright? If a monster you control would be destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. Okay, so it has 2 effects. You may say, well, how is this a +1? How do you get this effect off? So, excuse me, if I have Black Illusion Ritual activated, I tribute the Relink Kuriboh if it's on the field, if it's in my hand. I tribute it off for the tribute summon of the ritual monster. I get to special out my Relinquish, and I get to draw 1 card deeper into my deck. If they somehow try to run over my Relinquish, I can banish this card from the graveyard, protect my Relinquish. So overall, it's a very good card. You want to use him as tribute fodder for Relinquish. I wish he was a level 1 tuner. That could mean I could go into like Vermilion Mech and a whole bunch of other things, but the deck doesn't even need an extra deck really. It doesn't even, you never will go into the extra deck. I mean, maybe once in a blue moon, but I play with this deck probably 100 times, and not one time can I think of me wanting to say, hey, I want to go into the extra deck this turn, or it was needed. But if you want to add extra deck monsters, you can, but you're rarely going to find yourself going into them. But Relink Kuriboh, it's a draw engine, it helps protect your Relinquish. In the future, I may try to find different ways to play around with him, but he's so good in the deck. Next we have your kaijus. You have your Dogra, the Mad Flame Kaiju, Godzilla, pretty much. Your Garen Dogra, the how you pronounce his name? Mystery Dust Kaiju, or as my nickname is for him, Ultimate Great Moth's better cousin, because he's a moth. He's better than Ultimate Great Moth. That's supposed to be ultimate. Yeah, bad jokes, I know. So you have your Garen Dogra, you have your Dogra, and then you also have your Gamma Seal. So you're going to run 3 Gamma Seal as well. So the reason these are important, the reason you just run these guys right here, is the fact of the matter is these are all level 8 Kaiju. Now I do understand that level 8 Kaiju does have a drawback, because if they're playing like a Blue Eyes deck or a rank 8 deck or a Synchro deck, they can use that level 8 to go into a Synchro play, a level 8 Exceed play, etc., etc. if they stop your play. The reason I like it though over all the other Kaijus is, number one, they have big beat sticks. You don't care about their effects really. The only thing you care about is their attack. Though Gamma Steel sometimes does come in handy in certain situations. I will mention that with that 3000 booty. But the main thing is that you care about the attack, not the defense, except Gamma Steel, sometimes it does come into play, like I just said. But you're going to give them a Kaiju, then you're going to steal the Kaiju back with Relinquish, and then you're going to beat them over with it. That's the main reason you use the Kaijus. You're not going to use their effects, really, because you're not running Waterfront. If you wanted to run Waterfront, maybe you could go down that route if you wanted to, teching the deck out a little bit more than I have. You're never really going to use them for rank 8 fodder. I've never really done that, so it's kind of pointless. But you care about the level 8s because of trade-in. Because if you get clunky hands, this gives you a draw engine with trade-in, which I'll talk about more in the future. But yeah, the level 8s give you fodder with trade-in, and with Slumber, you can just add a card to your hand and activate a trade-in, draw deeper into your deck. Even if Slumber was to get hit, I would still run the 8 of these Kaijus. Because they are very necessary in the deck. And you can bring out a Kaiju, you can give your opponent a Gamma Seal, bring out a Garen Dogra, have a Manju on the field because you searched out a piece for your Relinquish play, and then you can be like, okay, I'm going to bring out, Relinquish for activating Black Illusion Ritual, suck up your Gamma Seal I gave you, and then, you got a 2000 beater, a 3000 beater, and a Manju on the field. So there's different things you can do there. But yeah, you definitely want to run those 8 Kaiju. You can try different Kaiju out, but I never found myself really going for them. Next we have your 3 Preparation of Rites. This card is necessary for the deck because it literally means you can add a Relinquish and you can add a Black Illusion Ritual from your deck to your hand. This card is more integral than Slumber ever is in the deck, because this card helps you get to your ritual monster. So it helps you get to your Black Illusion Ritual and your Relinquish. And if you got clunky hands, this card can literally help you go for 2 Relinquish in a duel. It literally can do that for you. Because sometimes you'll be like, oh, I got this piece, I'll just Manju the other piece. I got this in hand, now I'm going to activate it after they get over my first Relinquish, give them another Kaiju, bring out another Relinquish, steal that Kaiju back. So it helps you go for double Relinquish in a duel sometimes, or triple Relinquish in a duel. So definitely a staple. The 3 Pre-Preparation of Rites. I apologize, guys. I'm very sick right now. Next up, you have your Pre-Preparation of Rites. Pretty good. It definitely works well in the deck. Adding pieces back from your deck or your graveyard. So 1 pre-prep. 3 trade-in. The trade-in, like I said, these are all level 8s, all your, different Kaijus are level 8s, so, they're helping you get to your, draw, they're all draw fodder, because they're level 8, so if you have too many Kaijus in your hand, you pitch one with trade-in. If you, just different situations, because it just helps you draw into your deck a little bit deeper. So trade-in, 3 of, staple. As long as that card and the Kaijus are at, the level 8 Kaijus are at 3 of, the deck is viable. Next, 3 interrupted Kaiju Slumber. So, I know in the OCG this got hit down to 1 of. So I was thinking to myself, what would I run in replacement if these were ever to get hit over here in the TCG? Probably Twin Twisters, Galaxy Cyclone, MST. I've teched out maybe running BLS in the deck because you do run a light and dark count in the deck. You could run a mini tour guide engine with a, that way, which can sometimes work out for a rank 3 engine. The sky is the limit. What I would probably do, depending upon the format, was when we get to Link format, if there's still a lot of unbreakable boards that people are making, I would probably run one dark hole, and then I would probably run something else. Maybe another trap, maybe a twin twister, I don't know. We're not there yet. But as of right now, it's going to stay 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. It does not hurt the deck whatsoever. It does. The reason this card's good is because it can just clear unbreakable boards and set up a option where you can make Relinquish and not have to worry about, trying to face down a Crystal Wing or some just random, Dryden and whatever, Dagusto Emerald and a whole bunch of different, boards that are very powerful in today. You can just go, okay, Slumber, you get a monster, I get a monster, cool. Number some Manju, tribute off the Manju for, a Relinquish, and then I'm going to steal your Kaiju back, my Kaiju I gave to you back, so it thins your deck out and everything. The only other way you're out of Kaiju to your hand is if you're trying to go for like a triple Relinquish, or you're trying to add fodder into your hand for trade-in. But as a 1-of, it'll be fine. As a double-of, it's amazing still in the deck. It may get hit, it probably will, but if it got hit down to 1-of, like the OCG, the deck is still viable. It just hurts the consistency a little bit, not a lot. But like I said, it's not the optimal play of the deck, the Kaiju Slumber everything. As long as the Kaijus are at 3-of, you're good. Next we run our 3 Black Illusion Ritual. Oh, where's the other one? Dang it, it got lost somewhere. Your 3 Black Illusion Ritual here. Very integral to the deck. You can add it from your hand through Manju, pre-preparation of rites, by drawing it through multiple different ways. So, very important to the deck to help get out Mr. Relinquish. Next, you could run Regeki. You run Regeki and Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin adds consistency. Regeki clearing boards, going for FTKs, just with big monsters on the field. With a Kaiju and maybe a 3000 Relinquish, whatever you're feeling fancy. So I do like the Regeki. It's really good because you can be like, okay, I'm going to clear your board now. Now I'm going to bring out a Relinquish and 3000 Kaiju, and now I'm going to suck up the Kaiju I gave to you that was 3000, and now I'm going to attack you for 6000 damage. Good game, especially if they use a solid strike already. Next we have the expensive part of the deck, which is 2 D-Barrier, which is very good in the format right now. You can run triple D-Barrier, but 2 is all I really needed. So for your Trap Lamp and triple Strike and Warning. So the reason these are important, this is good for the meta right now, especially with everything running around. Strike, if Strike was to get hit down to 1 or 2-of, just run better other good generic traps is all I can say. Compulse maybe, Bottomless maybe, whatever is good. Lost Winds maybe, if the new card that came out, Lost Winds, whatever the case may be, run it. I would suggest things like Lost Winds and Regek and maybe Breakthrough Skill over other traps, because you're pretty much doing it so they can't cast Stellaway or Relinquish, or just do something stupid like 101 it or whatever the case may be. Monster effects are the Achilles heel of Relinquish in a way. So that's why I run the triple Strike in the Warning to deal with monster effects. But if Strike was to go down to 1-of, I'd run probably Lost Winds or Breakthrough Skill. But yeah, these slots right here are for traps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the best traps of the format, preferably Effect Negation for these guys. We also have one more slot for one more trap, which is Vanity's Emptiness. Vanity's Emptiness is amazing in this deck, because if you go for a Kaiju and a Relinquish, so you can go for like a Relinquish, have a Kaiju attached to it, and then let's randomly say you gave them a Kaiju first, then you brought your own Kaiju, then you can have like just these 2 guys on the field just poking in, however much damage with however much damage, and they can't special summon, so they can't get around your board unless they get a board wipe like a Dark Hole or a Kaiju Slumber themselves. So Vanity's Emptiness is very good in the deck, and with Kaiju Slumber you can easily turn this card off. So you can easily turn off Vanity's Emptiness into this deck, which is probably one of the reasons I would probably run, if Kaiju Slumber was to go down to one of, I'd probably run one Dark Hole along with the Regeki. But that's just my opinion. But the one Vanity's Emptiness, like I said, if Vanity's Emptiness was to get banned, just run another good generic trap. That's all it is. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this deck profile of this deck. You don't need an extra deck for it. Oh my gosh, my nose is running. You don't need an extra deck for it, guys, really, at all. If you were going to run an extra deck, maybe run some rank 8s, a Slacker Magician maybe, if you're feeling, you know, fancy. You're really never going to find yourself in a position to make a Exceed monster, because this deck is about putting big monsters out in the field, sucking up big monsters that you gave your opponent, or if they have big monsters in general, just sucking them up and just whacking them in the face with it. So yeah, and if Slumber got hit, like I said, there's a bunch of different other things you can try out in the deck. I mean, the deck is 40 at the moment, but I will profile the deck in the future after Link format, sometime in the fall, probably after the first set drops of Link monsters. The deck does not rely on the extra deck whatsoever, and as long as the ruling, from what I've heard, is the Kaiju monsters can go in the main monster zone. So if you Kaiju a Link monster and then you bring it out and it goes in the main monster zone, not the extra deck zone, if you tribute off a Link monster from the extra deck zone, then this deck will survive and thrive still. But those are just my thoughts, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this Relinquished Kaiju deck profile. I had a lot of fun playing it and testing it out. And like I said, guys, this deck will survive as long, even in Link format, most likely. But till next time, take care, good luck dueling, and have fun dueling, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.